You have likely heard that all legends are rooted in reality. That may not be accurate. These peculiar urban legends are either based on, or were at least partially inspired by the truth. The Passages of Puebla. Folktales concerning an enigmatic network of passages concealed beneath the city were recounted by the residents of Puebla City, which is situated in the southeastern region of Mexico. For centuries, no such tunnels were ever discovered, leading individuals to believe that they were merely the substance of legends. However, in 2015, a construction crew discovered a tunnel that was indeed genuine beneath the city. As crews began excavating the site, they ultimately discovered approximately 6 miles of tunnels that snaked beneath Puebla's streets. The tunnels, which are reputed to have been constructed from the 16th century to the 19th century, have been inaugurated as a tourist attraction. Alice's Murders. One of Japan's most renowned urban legends, the Alice Killings, is also one of its most recent. The legend is centered on a sequence of murders that allegedly took place between 1999 and 2005. The victims were not related, and the murders appeared to be unrelated in every respect. However, they shared a haunting resemblance. Each body contained a solitary playing card with the word Alice inscribed in the victim's blood. The specifics of these homicides are remarkably consistent, even down to the names and grisly details of the murder victims, even though they are an unsubstantiated urban legend. The internet is the most probable cause of the uniformity and prevalence of this legend. Nevertheless, there is no evidence to suggest that these murders occurred, and the matter is a topic of intense debate. However, it is a fact that a serial murderer was responsible for his crimes and associated them with playing cards. However, he conducted business in Spain, not Japan. Fortunately, the playing card killer was apprehended in 2003 and subsequently sentenced to 142 years in prison, Staten Island Cropsey. Cropsy was said to be concealed beneath the abandoned Willowbrook State School for children, according to this eerie narrative. Cropsy was depicted as a grotesque boogeyman in some versions of the story, while in others, he was an axe murderer. In both instances, he was a murderous creeper who was on the search for lost children. Regrettably, he was inspired by a genuine homicidal creep. Andre Rand was employed as a janitor at the Willowbrook State School until it was closed in 1987. Subsequently, he continued to reside on the school's premises and is believed to be accountable for the disappearances of numerous children. He was convicted of kidnapping in 1988 and again in 2004, even though this was never proved to be the case. Cropsy, a documentary, delves into the truth and the fiction surrounding the man. The Dog Boy. The urban legend of a dog man who resembles a werewolf and roams the streets of Quitman, Arkansas, is a casual embellishment of a genuine story. Gerald Bettis was born in 1954. Rumors circulated throughout the community that he was cruel and depraved, and that he enjoyed capturing stray animals to conduct bizarre experiments on them. He was abusive to his elderly parents, and his cruelty only intensified as he aged. The family residence was the site of his father's death in 1981, and his death remains shrouded in mystery. The newspapers reported that the cause of death was illness, but many residents suspected that it was murder. Bettis then effectively confined his mother to the residence until Adult Protective Services took her into protective custody. His mother testified against him in court, and he was incarcerated until he died in the 1980s. It is believed that his spirit continues to haunt the home where he was born and raised, as well as the location of his father's death. His ghost is depicted as a shaggy dog that travels on all fours, while in others, he is depicted as a towering man who wears a brown jacket and bow tie. The Bunny Man. We will commence with the legend that underpins this particular item. A bus derailed in 1904 while transporting patients from an asylum in Fairfax County, Virginia, according to an unverified urban legend. The patients managed to escape, and all but one were ultimately apprehended. Dead rabbits began to appear in the vicinity shortly after the bus malfunctioned, with a significant number of them suspended from the Fairfax Station Bridge. However, none of this has been verified, and historians contend that it is impossible, as there were no asylums in Fairfax County in 1904. The fact is that in 1970, a man clad in a bunny suit was involved in a pair of mysterious and frightening incidents that took place in that region. A man in a white bunny costume threw an axe at a young couple who were driving at night. Although the axe broke the window of their vehicle, neither of the couple was injured. A mere 2 weeks later, An additional individual from Fairfax County discovered an individual in a bunny suit, wielding an axe, who was destroying the veranda of a recently constructed but unoccupied residence. By the time the authorities arrived, he had vanished. The actual bunnyman was never apprehended, and Fairfax Station Bridge has been nearly renamed Bunnyman Bridge. The appellation is so widely recognized that it is even utilized by Google Maps. No Face Charlie. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, inhabitants were haunted by this urban legend from the 20th century. A figure with a severely burned visage was said to lurk around an abandoned train tunnel at night, causing electricity to go haywire with his mere presence, according to the legend. Curious teenagers would sneak out to the tunnel in an attempt to capture a glimpse of him. It has been discovered that Charlie No Face was a genuine individual. However, his name was not Charlie. Raymond Robinson was the victim of a severe accident that resulted in a disfigured visage due to an electrical line. As a result, he developed a degree of seclusion, remaining indoors during the day and only venturing outdoors at night. However, he refrained from engaging in any form of haunting and would occasionally permit inquisitive teenagers to take photographs with him in exchange for cigarettes. The video game Polius. In 1981, in Portland, Oregon, a video game named Polius was published for approximately 1 month, according to this legend. The government intended for the game to function as a psychological experiment. It behaved similarly to a narcotic, causing seizures and nightmares in its users. The arcade machine would be used by government officials to extract information about the participants. Even though the game was almost certainly not real, there were a few video game-related events that likely fueled the legend. One of the games was Tempest, which caused motion nausea and epileptic reactions in certain players upon its release in 1981. Another instance was that FBI agents inspected an arcade at the same time to investigate allegations of wagering. Gators are present in the sewers. While this is not a singular urban legend, although this is not the standard, there have been numerous instances of fully grown gators residing in sewers, particularly in the southern United States. Storms and inundation in states such as Florida. In 2010, police officers did indeed extract a 2-foot-long juvenile gator from a sewer in New York City. However, the gator colonies are a complete fabrication. Le Loyon. More recently, the inhabitants of Switzerland have begun recounting tales about an enigmatic individual who traversed the Mols forest while donning a gas mask and camouflage. There was no evidence of the existence of this figure for a decade. Only a handful of eyewitness accounts were published in the periodicals. He did not exhibit any indications of being malicious or dangerous, according to those accounts. The figure persisted in the realm of folklore due to the absence of concrete evidence of his existence. People began referring to him as Le Loyon, or the Ghost of Moles. However, his existence was confirmed in 2013, when a pedestrian captured this photograph of Le Loyon.
It is unclear whether Le Loyon actually committed suicide or merely abandoned his persona and wandering habits. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more videos.